Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I just realized my shirt is on the floor. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kelly Walters. Today, we are going to be playing with some muted colors. Let me know where you're from, what city, what state, what country you reside in. Say hello in the comments. I like to reach out and say hello back to you as much as I can. Hello, guys. Okay, so for those of you that are new tuning in, I have a couple of different camera views. So you will see me look here at my computer screen quite frequently, just because if there's any comments, then I want to make sure that I am getting to them. And then as you can see, I do have the heat press. We are at temperature and I will be over there as well. Today, we are going to cut, weed, apply two different types of garments, but we're going to stick with the same saying, but they have two completely different meanings. One thing that is so popular right now are muted tones or nude colors. And today we are going to be playing with just that, muted shades. So we have our Ultraweed cream already in the cutter. I've got this beautiful, beautiful vintage gold glitter flake that we're going to be using. This is probably one of my favorite colors that we have of the glitter flake. I just love it. But if you've caught some of my other lives, then you know I love several of our products between Cad-Cut metallic and Cad prints, gloss. I know I'm missing, it's Super Tech Gloss. And then we are also going to play with this Ultraweed metallic gold. Now, if you have used some of our, I'm trying to get up a little up close, sorry guys. If you have used some of our Ultraweed, fashion film metallic gold, then these are slightly two different tones. To me, this one has just a little bit more of what I would call like a gold brick tone, like a true gold. It's got a little bit more vibrancy rather than a muted, but we are going to actually play with these two together. And then we are going to use the cream on a regular, Bella Canvas 3001T. And so today we are actually going to start with cutting the Bella canvas. We're going to apply, and then I'm going to go through a little bit of CADWorks Live. Now, we're going to do it differently than last week, where I already have the art done. I definitely don't want to take an hour and a half of y'all's time. Let's stick to under an hour, right? And but I am going to try and do my best to show you how I went from step by step by step. I took some inspiration and then I turned it into my own. And yes, I did get these off of a Google search, but at the end of the day, I just made it what I wanted because I couldn't find something, that came to my vision. Okay, hello, good morning, good morning. Let's see. Okay. Ooh, Kevin, hello. From Jamaica. Let's see, Shiny Rules, Cassandra, yes. Makes me think of Moana. All right, we've got Colorado, super early. For those of you guys that don't know, I am actually located in Kansas City. I am on the Kansas side of Kansas City Kansas, Missouri. And I really hope that this, education today sparks some, creativity for you, or just makes you think outside of the box and go, oh, I should be doing this. Okay. So the first thing that we are going to do today is start with this Bella Canvas t-shirt. Just as a quick note, I use a Hottronics auto clam. I use a 16 by 20. I do have an upper platen cover or a upper heating element cover and then a lower platen cover. And I do have it on a stand. I always get asked questions about that. So I figured let's just start talking about it. So Bella Canvas 3001. And let's see, I believe I talked about this yesterday. Let's see. I think it's the slate blue. Stacy, will you correct me if it's not the slate blue? It does kind of have this denim color. It is pulling a little bit darker in the camera versus what I am seeing in person. But that's okay. That's okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to quickly share my screen so you guys can see what we're working with. I'm going to cut first, weed, and apply because with Ultraweed, it only takes 12 seconds. And this is a fairly simple design. And then we will go back and basically start from scratch on CADWorks. Steel blue. Woot woot. Okay. So let me just show you what we got here. Okay, you guys, let me take the front off. Let's see if I can do that. Sorry, let me just remove that. One more time. I want to pop up where I'm little. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, I have step by step here. So what I did was I brought this guy in, I imported it over here where it says convert to vector. And then I used my own font. I also repositioned where you see they see me and then the Roland. I wanted it somewhat offset. Now, if I really wanted to get technical with this design, of course, after I created it, I'm like, dang it, I should have, art, they see me. And then I should have made like the wheel. Oops, hold on. I'm moving the in. I should have made the wheel to where it was like sitting on top of the Roland. So we kind of had a knockout effect with that. So anyway, you guys can get, as creative or as simple as you like. There are some very simple t-shirt designs out there that sell like hotcakes. And then there's also some really creative designs that I'm like, man, that's so cute. Good for them. Okay. So what we did first is we made sure that our art was vectored, and it is because the convert to vector button right here on the left-hand side is done. And then as you can see, the wireframe is ready. Now, I have already set this up in Vector Cut. So what I'm going to do now is actually just get it set for cutting, and then we'll come back and we will talk about how we added all the distressed on there. Okay, so let me just pop. Ooh, wrong one. Okay, there we go. So I use a GS24. It is from Roland. Sorry, I keep stepping on my cord today, you guys. And I already have the cream Ultraweed in here. It is, to me, that's not what I think of as cream. It has a slight like orange hue to it. I don't know, but it is called this is Cad-Cut Ultraweed cream, and Cad-Cut is our version of heat transfer vinyl. So anyway, it's really getting a reflection from one of my ring lights. So I will show it to you. You guys will get a better view of it when it is done and complete. I didn't want to do like a stark white today. I really wanted that muted tone. It's just so popular right now. Okay, so I've already got my media lined up with the rollers and with our white tabs. I'm going to go ahead and tell it to roll it to the edge. And then after that, I'm going to make sure that our force is where we need it to be. Ooh, nope, got to go down. Okay, so I like cutting at 70 grams of force on my GS24. This is pretty much used for education and training content purposes. So I'm not in a production environment. So just know to always test, your downforce before you start switching, or when you start switching out in and out different materials. Okay, you guys. I am going to go back to vector cut. Now, I'm not going to screen share my vector cut just because we are going to be doing this pretty quickly. But when we do the apron that I'm going to show you guys here in just a minute, then I will definitely go through that full process. Okay, so I am going to send this to cut. Got to switch my port. There we go. Okay, I'm going to send it back to the front. Alrighty, now the other item that we're going to be doing today is this cute little apron. You guys, I found this at Hobby Lobby. I'm not 100% sure where you would source this on a wholesale standpoint, but I would definitely check your main wholesalers. And then if you can, check any like boutique wholesale websites. You just never know what you can find. And if there's any baking wholesale companies, they might have an apron. And I just wanted, like, look at this. This is so cute, especially with all of the holidays coming up. I figured, why not? Let's have some fun. There's also pockets right here, and who doesn't love pockets? Okay, so we are going to do the same phrase on here, but obviously a different meaning. Okay, I'm going to toss this guy over here and just set it down there. Going to let our Ultraweed finish cutting. There was a little bit of distressing in our logo today, so that's why it's taking just a little bit longer. Let's see. Sorry, guys, I'm reading comments. It's weird, right? When I'm not even looking at the screen, but I really am. Okay, let's see. Show of hands. Who has used our Cad-Cut Ultraweed yet? Also, show of hands. Who has now tried the new Cad-Cut foam? Because it is awesome. I'm going to be playing with that next week. Okay, so our design is done. I am just going to quickly cut that. Now, today I am going to try something a little different. I'm actually going to weed our logo on the heat press. I want you guys to just see how easy this is to weed. And then plus I'll already be there, and then I can just apply it onto the shirt. So hopefully that will be just a little bit easier for you guys. If you're just now tuning in, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Kelly Walters with Stalls, and I'm happy that you're here hanging out with me. All right, we're going to send you over to the heat press now. Let's see. Oh, one more. There we go. Okay, you guys, like I said, it is the Bella Canvas 3001. For size reference, this is a size medium. Just going to thread this on to our platen. And if you guys don't know what threading is, it's basically like you're putting on a pillowcase, but in this case, it is a t-shirt over a platen. It is best to always pre-press. That way you can smooth out those wrinkles, get rid of any type of moisture that might be hanging out in the shirt. It just gives it a really good starting point whenever you're heat pressing. So while this is going to pre-press, I didn't lock my back. My back will. I'm going to cut the transfer out from, let's see, our vinyl cutter, a GS24. Clearly I cannot cut and talk at the same time. Now I am just getting a weeding tool, which I have 5 and can never seem to find a single one. I'm going to go ahead and just pull this out since I want that surface for weeding. I am going to make sure that it is still nice and clean laid out. That way I'm not getting any wrinkles. Now, if you ever want to use your heat press, which I will for Glitter Flake especially, as basically a weeding panel, We do offer weeding panels and weeding tables, and they're amazing. But in this case, if you are just trying to test it out and see if it works, the best thing you can do is just bring this down and, you know, let it warm up your lower platen. If you're starting out, then you could actually just go and, you know, press and then warm it up that way. The other way is, let me see, hold on. Again, you guys, I can't talk and apparently weed or cut. The other way would be just to, you know, just lightly touch it if you needed just a little bit of heat. Now, one thing to remember, if you do have details, you guys, I would not warm up your lower platen as like hot as possible, because remember, you're actually releasing the vinyl from the carrier, and that is what is helping the whole weeding process. In this case, I did have a couple of tiny pieces, but it's okay, we're safe. Let's see. I got a really good giggle out of this whole phrase. They see me rolling, and then obviously in a minivan. I think that is pretty amazing. Okay. Oh, so I am missing just one little guy right here. I'm just going to stick it right back down. And then for the most part, you know, our design is done. I know it's at a slight angle, so you can't see it from a, you know, a standing standpoint, but okay, the next thing we need to do is just go in. We're going to remove out all our windows. And then there's also going to be little edges that are going to come out as well. Now I am going to get really close to the press because I need to see. Maybe not. Yep, I'm going in. Okay. Now, I actually chose to go a little bit thicker on the distressing. Obviously, you guys, if we're weeding, then the smaller the cavity, the more time it's going to take. And of course, if you have somebody weeding for you, then let them be the pro weeder. But if you are a one-man shop, maybe a two-man shop, and you guys are all hands on deck, I would just be cautious when adding in the distressing. That one, you want to be able to see it, and two, you know, just don't spend 30 minutes trying to weed one design unless that is your type of business and you do, you know, onesies and twosies or very small runs. Okay, so this guy is done. I need another table in here. It's funny, just when I think I have a really good setup for you guys and to be able to see everything, I realize I need something else. Do you guys all feel like that in your production shop when you're when you're working? Okay, so all we did, we just removed the edge. This is ready to go. I am going to just bring it over quickly. Let me see if I can actually just give you a better idea on color. There we go. So that's probably a little bit better on color than what you guys could see, you know, from the very front. Oh, I just realized I missed my R. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side. I'm going to go ahead and rethread my shirt. Now, one way I like to make sure that my shirt is nice and centered is to bring the tag up, you know, just pull it off slightly to where you can stay in the middle. I try to match up my sleeves, meaning, you know, with the seams, if there's more off on one side, then I also try to adjust it that way. Okay, the idea is to get as many seams off as possible. We do have these just a little bit. It will be okay. I would prefer to use an 11 by 15 platen, which I have ordered, so I will have that next time. Okay, what I'm going to do with this is, because this is just one design, I don't know if you guys can see this cut line here. I'm going to show you. Okay, so I'm always talking about ways to, how are we going to center our design on our garment? I am very particular. I'm a perfectionist at that, and I will sit there and I will take my measuring strip out and I will go from side to side. And now the more you do it, especially if you are newer and tuning in, just know you're going to pick up being able to eyeball that much, much quicker than what you think. So just be patient with yourself. Okay, so if you guys can see this, oh, sorry guys, I'm trying not to get the glare. Go right there. There is the outline, the box that we actually cut. So today what I'm going to do is actually line those two up to get my center point. As you can see, there we go. That's what cream looks like. Perfect. As you can see, my text is off centered. So they see me is on one side and enrollin is on the other. So again, I just want to make sure that, you know, the center of my art is the best that it possibly could. Okay, I'm going to send you back. There we go. All righty. Now, what I'm going to do is take this little line that we've created and then pull out the tag, and then I'm just going to do my best to make sure that those are lined up. I'm going to do about, well, this one's about 4. That's where we're going to keep it. Okay, now the next thing that I like to do is we're about 4 fingers here and 3 here. So I'm going to adjust it just a little bit. Still so weird for me to do things upside down. All right, sorry, I took it off. We're going to put it back down, and then I'm actually going to only do 3 fingers from the top. Kind of in love with this shirt, so I want it to be, I want it to look really good. That's 2. Now, we do have a couple of resources out there to help you guys in the production environment just keep moving along as fast as possible when it comes to production and lining up. So make sure you check all of that out. And then, of course, the laser alignment system is awesome. How do you guys measure up and make sure that your shirts are perfectly centered? There's always new people getting into this industry or screen printers that are starting to dabble in heat transfer. So let's hear from some of you guys that are pros at heat transfers and just applying every single day. Okay, so from here, we are just going to pull this off just a little bit. As you can see, I'm still adjusting, and let it go. Alrighty, this is now going to apply. Ultraweed goes from 260 to 300 degrees at medium pressure, which is anywhere from 4 to 6. We are going to be at 60 pounds on this, so my pressure is reading a 6, and then it is a hot peel. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I am using it at 280. And the reason why I chose to go a little bit higher is because I'm going to jump from 280 to 300 degrees, 305 with glitter flake. So I'm just going to already be a little bit higher with Bella Canvas. If your shirt is going to scorch with Ultraweed, I would definitely go down in temperature, and then just make sure you have the correct pressure. This is going to apply for 12 seconds. And now I'm going to just make sure I've got my art ready. And like I said, it's a hot peel. Okay, gonna pull this off. Switching views. All right, guys, so this is the first shirt we made. They see me rolling. I did choose to go with a larger font, a larger dimension. Sometimes for me personally, I always go smaller on graphics, and I really wanted this to be bold and in your face, and I just love it. I think it's hilarious, and the thing that I love about Ultraweed, it's easy to use, it's a low application, and it feels so soft on the t-shirt. Okay, I'm gonna set this guy down. I'm actually gonna quickly show you it this way. I can hold it straight. All right, so as you can see, this is the cream on the steel blue. Again, I didn't want to be so like with white. I think this would also be really cool to do it with maybe like a light blue or a gray, especially if you're going to be distressed. And then you can kind of creep into that tonal side. Okay, I'm going to put this away. And now let's quickly go over the art. Dimitri, I have it at, let's see. Dimitri asked, what are the dimensions? So in this case, I chose to go at 12 inches in width, and it makes it 7.68 in height. Now, because of that, I probably could have gone down to like 11 and a half, but I definitely didn't want like a center chest. I wanted a full front. And then, you know, oh, dude, probably have it. Okay. So, yeah, anyway, I just wanted to make sure that it was like an in-your-face graphic. Okay, so the next question is, what does they see me rolling mean? So, they see me rolling is an older, I'm going to say older. It is a rap song, and I'm not going to sing it for you guys, but it's kind of a funny thing with minivans. And I am a mom. I do not have a minivan, but they are pretty darn sweet up in our neighborhood. So it's just one of those things where it's just more of a funny saying, especially if you are a mother or a father and you have kids, it targets to that market. The other thing you could do is they see me rolling with maybe like a trike for a kid's shirt. It could be a scooter, it could be roller skates, anything that has movement on the shirt. You can really kind of hit different age groups. Now, this next thing that we're going to be doing is an apron, and it's going to say they see me rolling with a rolling pin for baking. So that's the one phrase that kind of goes to two different markets and has two different meanings, right? So, Tev, I hope that explains it. Just Google the song or stream it. They see me rolling, and you'll catch the drift. Okay, so we're going to move on. All right, so I'm going to add the art back to the screen. Sorry, I'm still reading comments. Tev, I don't see why not. I think the others pull more towards actually the movement of rolling. Chameleonaire, yes. Yes, it is. Good song. So Tev, back to your question. I don't see why not. I would almost maybe change it to they see me flying. But people that know the song will definitely still catch on to that verbiage. I think the rolling aspect, like the wheels, the trike, a bike, a scooter, the rolling pin, the car, they all have wheels. I get that an aircraft lands with wheels. So, you know, maybe have the wheels showing as they're coming down. So, okay. I love this back and forth. So great question. All right. So I'm going to remove this, side view. Okay, so now we are going to go over how we got there. And I just want to show you guys really quick. So these are the same designs. What makes them different is the size of the distressing that I chose to use. So this bottom one is the art that I actually used, and the top one, as you can see, there's way more distressing. You're going to be able to mimic that distressed screen print a little bit better. Obviously, the larger the image, we went 12 inches in width, you're going to be able to see those tiny little cavities more and more. But you saw how quickly I was able to weed the bottom logo. Okay, so just to give you an idea, I'm going to expand this, and then I'm going to drop my distress down. And to show you guys where I got that, I'm going to delete it. Over here in Add Clip Art, and then right here it pops up and it says Distress Overlay. The other thing you could do this exact same thing with would be the tiger pattern or the giraffe pattern or the chevron pattern. In this case, I'm going to choose the distress. So I will click that. Now for my visual purposes, I'm very visual. I'm going to change the color of the distressing. So I'm just I picked orange in this case. Now, where you can see is if I lay this over as it is, I'm going to have the thinner distressing like the roll-in. So the other thing that you can also do is shrink this art. I did this reverse where I made the distress bigger and then the roll-ins, this kind of the same size. But as you can see, it's just going to get bigger and bigger the more you enhance the size of the distressing. So I'm just going to keep it like that. I'm going to fully select both images. Make sure you grab both. And then I am going to do, I might get this wrong. I did back minus front, but it actually might be front minus back. Oh, hold on. So somehow I did not have this welded together. No big deal. So we're just going to quickly do this. What it was doing, it was actually only reading the S. So that's why there's a little notch marked out of the S. So I'm going to quickly just weld this together. That way the distress will see that this is one logo and They See Me Rolling is another. I'm going to bring this to the front so I can actually see how the distressing is going to lay. Select both of those and then use back minus front. Just takes just a minute, and sometimes my computer goes just a little bit slower than what I need it to. I went back and looked at the comments, you guys. Hot shot runners. Yes, I would just say, minivans are dirty. Kids are dirty. You find juice boxes and crackers, and you guys are cracking me up. So now, it's just one of those things. It's just comical. They say minivans aren't cool, but I have seen some pretty awesome minivans. So all the power to you guys driving minivans. Okay, you can see that this is still reshaping. Let's give it, just another minute. I'm not going to do any type of cutouts or removing the art on this next piece. But I just really wanted to show you guys how I got to the distressing section. This is taking forever. Okay, well, while we're waiting, if you guys have any questions, pop them in the comments below. There we go. As I say that, it's done. Okay, so as you can see, as I pull away the distressing effect, I now have, there we go. Oh my goodness, some distressed art. So I actually like this one better than the one I just did. There's a little bit finer lines. There's a little bit more distressing throughout, but hopefully you guys, this gives you some inspiration on how you can make just, you know, vinyl kind of mimic screen print, especially if you are a vinyl only studio or production facility decorator. I'm going to quickly save this because I do like that. The other thing is keep in mind, this is great if you are wanting to do screen print for a large order, and then you come in and use vinyl for your fill-ins. You can kind of keep that same type of distressing and keep your art very similar. I'm looking at the comments again, and Hot Shot Runners. Yes, I got it. You're like, this is fun. Nothing crazy taken. All right, you guys. So now we're going to move on to the next art. I'm going to open the art that I've already created. And then I'm going to click no. So basically what this is asking me if I want to add multiple art. So if you are doing, I don't know, 4 different jobs, they're all black or white, you can actually gang this, you know, your view and then export that way. That way you can cut multiple images at once versus doing one, going in and opening it up another. Okay, you guys, so I have this marked out for you guys. This was the inspiration. I knew I wanted to do They See Me Rollin'. I had actually seen it somewhere else. It was completely different, but I just stood there laughing. So I knew I wanted to go ahead and create it and just do it a little differently. So as you can see, this is the inspiration. I imported it. My art's kind of wonky. Plus I wasn't 100% happy with, you know, how this was outlined. So it was time for me to make my own. What I did was, this is a font. This is a font. Ooh. This is a font, and this is a font. So I'm going to tell you guys the art or the font that was used. This is Midnight Valentine. That is for the they and rolling. Again, it is Midnight Valentine. I believe I got that off of DeFont. Just make sure if you're turning around and selling it, that way nothing like comes back to you, that you are taking your, you're being cautious and you're taking your precautions and making sure that nobody's coming back and being like, hey, you didn't buy the rights to this or whatever. The next for C in me is Asgalt, and it is Asgalt regular, same thing. So what I wanted to do was just make sure we were, you know, pretty uniform on the fonts here. So all I did was I started with they, I duplicated it, and then I went in and I changed the text. I'm going to delete that. And then I just lined it up to where I wanted it. And after measuring my art and my workable space, I should have made it just a little bit tighter and bigger, but that's okay. Okay, the next thing was I found a rolling pin that I liked. I imported it and I changed just a little bit of a couple of things about it. And then I just started lining up where I wanted my rolling pin. Same thing about the distressed, you guys. You know I'm visual. I want to see where it is, what's happening. So I changed the color and I just send it to back. The next thing I did was I took my text and then I went ahead and I created the contour outline on this. The thing about CADWorks Live that makes it so easy is that all you have to do is hit click effect and come over to whichever contour you want. So there's my small contour. It's just going to add another contour on top of the contour I already have. Let me show you. So you can't see it because there's actually a gray in there. But now I have 2 contours. I don't need 2 contours. There you go. So if you're wanting to do a 3-color design, then this is a really easy way and very, very quick way to do it versus struggling to, add any additional outlines. This is just done with a click of a button. Okay, so now that that was created, all I did for the rolling was actually duplicate that and change the color. And then these are individual lines that are clip art that I pulled out of our Add Clip Art section, and I just stacked them up. Next, let's see. Oh, Tev, it is, yep, it's CADWorks, and that's CADWorks with an X. So CADWORX live.com. Okay, so, and then I am showing you step by step here. What I did was I actually just put the rolling to create this 2-color stripe, and then I did front minus back, and then now my rolling has the stripes. Same thing for this rolling pin. I did the contour effect, but I actually turned around and did an inside contour. I didn't want to make the rolling pin any larger, and then I turned around and adjusted my offset, which is actually the thicker line. Okay, so you guys, I know this was quick, but instead of me trying to put it together like last time, I hope that this kind of explained how I broke everything down and did it. I'm only using 2 colors, but I really wanted my art to come to life and pop as much as possible without being in your face. I know I'm using Cad-Cut Ultraweed Metallic Gold and Cad-Cut Glitter Flake Vintage Gold. So I'm still using things that have little pops in it, but it's not a hard contrast. It's not a black and a white, and it's also not a very, very bright color. So one thing that I love to do is also mixed textures. So maybe you need something that doesn't have glitter flake. And maybe you are making an apron for somebody that likes to grill outside. Maybe it's a male. In this case, the little ways that you can kind of add the dimension, some of the texture would be to use our Cad-Cut silicone. It's raised, it's matte, it's very soft. And then maybe you're going to use Cad-Cut Premium Plus. It's also matte and has the same texture, but with Premium Plus and silicone, you'd be getting that dimension like we're getting with some sparklier colors here. Hopefully I didn't confuse you. That was a lot of information just thrown at you. So if anybody has questions on maybe what products are going to be good to mix, combine, create that dimension, you guys know I'm here. Please reach out, comment below, and we will definitely, reach back out to you and get your questions answered. Okay, so back to our art and our drawing board. So as you can see, once we have combined everything, I made sure all of the colors linked up. That way when we cut, it will be easy and I can just select one color at a time. And the other trick I wanted to make sure was that our Ultraweed is going to be applied first, and then our glitter flake is going to be applied on top. You cannot layer on top of glitter flake. So it's really important if you're cutting only 2 colors and you only want to do 2 applications that you make sure that everything layers accordingly, and you're not going, oh, this isn't going to work, and then you have to kind of start over. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is adjust this. I do have 11 inches to work with in the bust of that apron and about 5.5 in height. One of the things that I said earlier was that I wish I would have adjusted my art so I could maximize the width a little bit more, but it's okay. Again, me being picky, and I like to maximize the printing space on a product. Okay, so I am going to just quickly adjust this. It's going to make it super tiny because as you can see, we are 56.25 in width right now. This is a giant. So max size that I can do is my smallest, which is 5.5. So in width, it's only going to make it 482. I am going to test myself and make this just a wee bit bigger. Oh, hold on. I hit home. Okay, so now we are at least 5 inches. For the sanity of myself, I'm going to delete all of this. I do have it saved. So if you need that file, I am more than happy to send it to you. So as you can see, it's fine. Now I'm going to adjust this back again. Oops. Deleted it. Okay, 5.75. And then so I can see what I'm doing, I clicked zoom to fit. All right, I'm going to export to vector cut. I will show you guys this as well. Okay, I am going to stop streaming now, screen sharing my art, and I will pop up vector cut. Okay, so for those of you that can't see like me, alrighty, we are going to go ahead and mirror the whole design. And then the first thing that we are going to do is I want to go ahead and cut my Ultraweed because my GS24 is already set to go ahead and do that. Okay, so what I did was I selected my color that we're going to cut. Quickly going to tape this so I don't have a crazy roll. And then we will go in and cut our vector cut. Let's see. Okay, you guys. Is anybody as excited as me to see this done and completed? Now, to maybe focus on the holidays, you could change the colors and go with whatever holiday it is. So whether it, Easter, Halloween, Christmas, 4th of July, you could keep the same art and then just change, per holiday. The other thing is maybe you could add some Christmas cookies around or cookies around the art, or even add something on the bottom of the skirt, which I think will be really fun to go back and do later, or that is your prime time to get personalization and, really increase the value of the product you're producing. Okay, so stepping. My forest is still at 70. My width of the material has not changed. Let's see. So I am just going to go into vector cut. As you can see, my width is saying 13.5. Oops, sorry. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is rotate it. That way I can take up more space on the material horizontally versus vertically. And then, of course, this would be, I'm actually going to duplicate this. You're going to maximize our material, people. All righty, so I am going to just make sure that's the correct colors. Okay, so now we are cutting here. Let you guys see how this is done. sorry, it was butted right up close. Again, so I found the apron. It was $15.99 at Hobby Lobby. Of course, they do their 40% off coupon, so then you can maximize the 40% off on that. Obviously, when it comes to a profit standpoint, you would like to be able to find those at wholesale cost, or even Amazon. Check and see if there's one there. I will tell you, this quality is really nice and thick. And then, like I said, there is a pocket. They had a couple of others. I know this is very girly, but it's cute. What I'm going to do that I forgot to do is actually turn up my press. We're going to go to 305. And then what I need to do is change my time. My first application will apply at 5 seconds. And then I will just go in and double hit for the glitter flake. That way I don't have to turn around and, you know, change my settings on that. Otherwise, it's just very easy to do. But for time purposes, I'll just do it twice. Okay, you guys. Let's grab this. If I were scissors. So this is definitely going to be a smaller print on the apron. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut this as well. That way I just know I'm only weeding one at this moment in time. Okay, I'm going to pop this up really quick so you guys can see the color. So this is the metallic. One of these days I'll understand the mirroring effect. So this is a metallic, the metallic gold. I think it's a really beautiful color. Okay. All right, the next thing that we are going to do is that Cad-Cut Glitter Flake Vintage Gold. And this is very true to color. You're just getting a reflection from my lights. But it's a very soft gold, subtle, muted. Hence today's session. Okay, I'm going to send you back to the front. And then I'm also going to pop up Vector Cut. So I'm going to select the other color. Just go ahead and duplicate this. Make sure it is centered. Now, this is a larger roll, you guys, so I will need to come in and adjust the width. And then I will also do a test cut for my glitter flake to make sure my force is where it needs to be. Okay, I'm going to remove the Vector Cut screen, keep it on the front. That way you guys can see what I am doing. Just keep in mind that all I have to do really is just click the button on Vector Cut and then it will be done. Now this one is going to have just a little bit more weeding just because we are going to actually the they is only outlined. It's still a very, very small design, so we should go fairly quick. Okay, 18.5 is the width that I need to adjust my Vector Cut to. Again, I'm not going to show you guys that. I'm just going to pop in here and get it done. The other thing that would be really cute is, like you saw me use, I made 2 logos, right? Do some tea towels. So for decoration, because glitter flake is not going to feel that good if you're wiping your hand off. But it'd be really cute if you have, you know, if the customer has a section in their house or just as a fun gift. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and increase my force to 100 grams. What a test cut does is it just makes a little circle with a T and a square, and it just makes it to where you can go in, weed, and make sure you have it the way you need it to. All right, now I am going to go ahead and readjust my origin. What the origin is it's how it's communicating to your computer, telling you that you have a certain amount of width to work with. So it's not going to go back over that test spot because if it did, then you would have a little hole in your art. So just really quick, I'm gonna do this. And then send it to cut. Okay, why that is cutting. How many screens can we have on at one time? Okay, so while that is going, we're just gonna quickly go ahead and start this. Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna have to use this color more. It is so pretty. There are definitely more cavities in this art as opposed to the last one. And with this being only 5 inches, I am just trying to be as delicate as possible. Okay, there's a cavity right here on the ease. Down here. And there we go. Okay, can you see that? Sort of, kind of, because there is a glare. Okay, and how perfect timing was that? I'm gonna go ahead and just quickly cut the glitter flake off, and then I will bring the glitter flake over to that section and we can weed that as well. Okay, now what I was saying, I do want this to be just a little bit warmer and I don't want to lock it. So I'm just going to bring this down, warm it up just a smidge. And then I'm going to take all my border away. Now I know there's 2 logos on here, so I am not messing up anything. I'm just going to start weeding it. It's funny, with glitter flake, it's a little bit more difficult. Okay, you guys, I am going to take you over to my little area because I cannot see. Okay. All right, so bear with me as I quickly weed this. I needed to get very close to what I was doing, and I couldn't see. All right, because the art had some holes, you know, it has that line that I created. I just want to make sure that I get all the correct pieces. I think I have found the middle part, so I'm gonna just quickly cut that. Let's see. If I don't cut my finger first. You guys excited to see this? Because I am. Now, one thing that I was saying earlier was if you have some fine designs, you may not want to heat up your art, because what's going to happen is as you are releasing the adhesive from the carrier, that means those tiny little pieces that are stuck on a very tacky carrier, they're going to start to lift. So that's one of the reasons why I also stepped away from the heat press, was because I needed that tack. And then I couldn't see. Okay, I am missing some roll-ins. Let's see. Whoop. There's one. And now I just get to play like I am messing with rhinestones, and I'm going to go back. Probably should have had my GS24 up to 110 just to get some of those really small pieces a little bit more crisp, but that's okay. They're right here. So close, you guys. Looks like I might be missing one. All right, so this is the part that I was just wanting to make sure, you know, was good. It's too cute. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to miss it out or mess it up. Okay. Almost done. I must be having, my blade's got to be too dull for glitter flake. That's okay. We're going to get it fixed. All right. Almost done. Almost done. I know I just said that. What I'm doing now is just making sure that I have my, let's see, my pin. My rolling pin looks a little off from the design. This happened last time too. It looks like I need to get in touch with our tech team. What is that? Oh, that's the G. Time out, guys. Why? Why? Every time. Let's see. Okay. I'm just going to see what I'm missing on the art and then just go from there. So what I need to do now is just make sure that our cavities in the they are good. Okay. Sorry you guys can't see this. My monitor will not pivot down enough. Let's see. I'll give you guys just a sneak peek, or a sneak peek in just a quick second. Okay, let's see. Oh, I see a little spot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take this art, put our other art on top. So this will at least give me some guidance on what I need to see needs to be done. So this little guy needs to come out, and then the G needs to come out. So there's one. I'm gonna take this out. Hey, Teb. Yes. So in this case, yeah, I agree. There's way too much. There's way too much time. So one thing that would have helped me completely was to make sure my art was larger. Obviously, doing something this small would be quite complicated. This is done now. The other thing is just making sure that you know, if you have complications, finding out where the errors are coming from. So in my case, it was the force, right? So I should have increased my force to make sure I was getting a really good clean cut, even though the test cut came out good first. And then the second is having the best light possible for weeding. So for me, I would have loved to have had a light right here, but because of, you know, my environment, my setup, you know, I'm just kind of rocking and rolling with what I have, even though there's definitely a better way to make sure, you know, it just gets executed quicker. So in this case, these are both done. So let's go apply them. I'm going to send you back over to the press. All right, now I am actually going to go ahead and use a pillow on this guy. There are seams right here at the V, and then same thing for down at the bottom. Now, what I want to make sure is just make sure I have it on the correct side because of where the pockets are. Now, just so you guys can hopefully see a better view. Okay, I'm going to loosen my pressure. Going to go ahead and pre-press that. I'm still at a 7 and I just want to be a little bit less. Okay, so right here, what I'm going to do is just eyeball where I want that middle point. Okay. Okay, and then let's go ahead and use cover sheet. Again, this is a hot peel, so we'll peel that and then we will apply our glitter flake. And remember, I said I am going to hit the glitter flake twice because this should be going for definitely longer than 5 seconds that I currently have it at. A little G's all mixed up. Okay. Alrighty, so again, gonna apply or put my cover sheet over this, and this is just craft paper that I'm using, you guys. And again, like I said, it is 10 to 12 seconds. So my press is set for 5 seconds, so it's gonna pop, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and finish it again at another 5 seconds. And it's done. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, so this is the finished product. I will show it to you up close like this. Kind of reminds me of cinnamon rolls, actually. So, like I said, you guys, I wish this would have been just a little bit bigger. I would have made it wider here, and then maybe had the what is that? The rolling pin may like just going more at a diagonal, but I love these muted colors, especially with the gold and the gray. To me, this makes it more of a year-round piece, but if you wanted something specifically for fall, because it is the gray plaid and the gold, that kind of transitions from basically right now through maybe February, if you're that type of person or you have that type of customer that is, you know, picky about changing seasons. Now, you guys, on this, you cannot feel the Ultraweed. It is very, very, very thin. So if you are looking for something that maybe you don't want it to be too thick, oops, sorry, touched my mic. You don't want it to be too thick, then use the Ultraweed because it feels like it's actually going into the garment. Like I said, it's a little small, but you do have this midpoint and then this seam. So ultimately, just make sure your art fits, you know, the width, which I was thinking it was just longer versus that little seam. So I'm really glad that you guys like how these two colors turned out. Again, it's an odd combo. You don't necessarily think like, okay, well, why would I put two golds together? But at the end of the day, you know, you're getting that texture and that contrast of the two tones. One's a little brighter, one's a little bit more muted. And I kind of love gray and gold together. So again, remember this was $15.99 from Hobby Lobby. The t-shirt that we did, it's a Bella canvas. So, you know, what is that? $350 max, $320, $280. And keep in mind this steel blue is more of a muted. It is showing more towards a royal on the screen. So you guys, that's two completely different markets. The t-shirt market, that is huge, especially with graphic tees. You can walk into Target, you can walk into Walmart, you can walk into boutiques, you can walk into department stores. Graphic tees are everywhere. They're not going away. And fun sayings just really make it personal. And then the other thing is it is gift giving season. People are looking for unique gifts to start buying now. I have not started. I have thought about holiday shopping, but I can tell you it is happening. So start putting gifts out there if you're really wanting to get into that market. And because it is vinyl, you can do onesies and twosies and really test your customers. So I'm sorry, I'm walking back and forth. I'm going to send you to the front. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in on today's education and learning session. I hope these, you know, really sparked some ideas for you. It's not going to stay up here. So anyway, have a great Tuesday. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If you're wanting any type of art file, email me at Kelly, Kelly, Walters @stalls.com or comment below. Thanks and have a great afternoon.